Aber the Ham. Good to see you again, Aber. Aber the Ham asks, you mentioned a while back considering a walkthrough of your shop and your organizational style. Any idea on that or just an abstract idea? I'm having an anxiety as I move into my new place about what will go where in the Tinker Zone. I mean, I could show you what I've got, but I don't know if it would actually help, Aber. That video is perpetually in the video I might make someday. But I don't know if I ever will. It's just not, I don't know. I think about it. It's that or the Odonata video, right, Aber? Miss Mirdogu. Mirdogu? Okay. On my drone, when I cut the gas completely, the drone acts as if it's turned off and goes completely out of my control. Mirdogu, I'm going to guess that you're running Betaflight, and I'm going to guess that the reason it does that is because air mode is turned off. Now, the other question I have is, do the motors keep spinning at all? If the motors keep spinning at all, then air mode is off. If the motors stop spinning entirely, then the problem is that you've enabled the motor stop option, and you need to turn that off so it keeps flying. Okay. Cali FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. A brand new AIO, plugged it in, just USB, works fine. As soon as I plug in LiPo, it goes into bootloader. Any ideas? Cali FPV, is anything soldered to the flight controller? Because sometimes having a GPS or a receiver soldered to one of the UARTs can kick it into bootloader. So what I would do is I would disconnect everything from the flight controller and desolder everything from the UARTs and see if it still happens. The reason it only happens on USB is that the GPS or receiver or whatever it is doesn't power up from LiPo. Only when you plug in LiPo does do the thing to the UART that kicks it into DFU mode. Like, if you have your receiver on UART 1, some flight controllers, it will kick them into DFU mode. And the answer is, first, disconnect everything and see if that fixes it, and then put it on a different UART. Hopefully that's the answer. Black Jungle, thank you for all you do with giving memes to the chat. Also for giving a super chat of 11 Ray Eyes. How do you feel on YouTube not allowing mouse wheel click on thumbnails to open videos on new tabs now? Only works on the titles. And yes, I'm ranting about frivolous things. I'm not sure that I ever used that, so I'm not sure I noticed it. But obviously, mouse wheel click should open a new window. I don't know if I ever did that. What does it do? Nothing?
Yeah, it's inside of the preview now. So because the preview's running and you can like click on the bar down at the bottom and stuff, I guess for some reason they disabled middle click. Maybe people were doing it by accident. It did work for a while, even with the previews, but now it does not.
Yeah.
So.
I don't really like those previews. They're kind of annoying because you hover on the preview and you don't hear the audio. And then when you click on the video, now you're like six seconds into the video and you haven't heard the audio for the first 6 seconds.
I'm going to tell you, I've seen an embarrassingly large amount of content in those small boxes.
What with captions?
Yeah, if I don't know what they're going to say, I just watch like 10 seconds of it in the thing and then don't watch the video. This happens every time.
Well, that's really interesting. I wonder how that affects your click-through rate.
I don't know.
I bet it lowers your click-through rate, but it improves your retention because the people that click through actually know that they want to see your content. It reduces the effect of clickbait thumbnails, which is good for the users.
That's and you can even click on the bar down there. So sometimes I'll even jump to like the 30%, the Wadsworth constant or whatever they call that, and then see what's around there and then watch for 10 seconds and then not watch it.
Carbon Cage, do you hear the audio when you go to a preview? Or you do hear the audio? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Well, then do you get a view if they hover over it for 40 seconds? Does that count as a click? I don't know. YouTube analytics. Fohawks, thank you for a $10 super chat. Experienced race and freestyle builder planning a custom build for a trip to Iceland. Watch out for those volcanoes. Any special advice, particularly cold or rainy or windy or volcano-y conditions? Yeah, conformal code everything. Oh, he is conformal coding. Great. So you don't need to conformal code your O3. The DJI systems come about as waterproof as, unless you're going for full submersion, you don't really need to do additional waterproofing on a DJI VTX. Everything else you should probably conformal coat if it's going to be rainy and cold, especially rainy. Take the normal precautions when conformal coating. Don't put it on a barometer. Don't put it on a button. Don't put it on a plug. And yeah. As far as wind goes, I mean, if you're doing a custom build, think really hard about the size of prop that you want. Because a larger quadcopter will be more able to fight the wind because it'll have more power, but it will also get blown around by the wind more because it has more surface area. So there's going to be a sweet spot. Like if I was going to Iceland, what I think of when I think of Iceland is not like proximity freestyle, although I'm sure there's plenty of places in Iceland to do proximity freestyle. What I think of is, flying down the fjords and up the mountains and, so I'd be leaning more towards like a 7-inch cruiser than like a 5-inch freestyle rig. I get long flight time, 12, 15, 20-minute flight time with a lightweight, maybe not too lightweight though, because you do want it to be able to sort of, with more mass, you'll sort of cut through the wind better. Yeah. So that's the direction I'd be thinking.